My name is Henry. I'm a 45-year-old house husband. My wife Patricia and I have two high school daughters. We had a peaceful marriage with no drama, but that doesn't mean I don't have my complaints. There are many things about the children, but the biggest frustration is my wife. She's a nervous wreck, for better or worse. She thinks that all the housework and childcare should be done by her husband, and she never tries to do any of it. In all the years we have been married, she has never taken out the garbage. She does not cook for himself, not even instant food. Even when I'm sick, she doesn't do it. Don't slack off. You need to take care of this house. My wife is the kind of woman who would yell at me like that. I never heard a word of concern or care from her. If she had at least brought home enough money, I would have been less dissatisfied, but my wife's income was low. I know it's because of the recession, but it's hard to live like this. Both of our daughters in high school want to go to college. I knew we would still have to spend a lot of money. I used to have a part-time job, but it was getting hard to make ends meet, so I became a full-time employee. That made things a little better financially. But working a full-time job cut into my time for housework. I had to work overtime and sometimes came home late. My daughters are independent, so they willingly do what they can do on their own. The problem is my wife. She hates it more than anything when someone messes up her schedule. Hey, it's almost 7 p.m. Why isn't dinner ready yet? Whenever I work late, she calls me on my phone. When I rush home, she's super grumpy and ignores me. Are you a child? Just order some takeout or something. If I try to tell her something like that. What? I'm so tired from work. Why do I have to do that? She gets so angry. Sometimes I talk back to her. I'm working too, and I'm tired too, you know. I was fed up with my wife. One morning, I talked to my wife about something. I'm going to the hospital with my dad on Monday. My dad has aged a lot since my mom died 2 years ago. My parents' house is too far away, and I can't go there often, so I was worried about him. Then my wife made me an unexpected proposal. My parents are dead, and your father is now my only living relative. Would you like him to move in with us? Because of this statement, my father is now living with us. My father has become completely weak in the legs and feet and has regular checkups at the hospital. Every time I take him to the hospital, my wife asks about his condition. Is he going to be alright? How is he? He's fine. He says he has to stay strong until he sees his great-grandchildren. My father and my wife seem to have no problems living together. It's comforting to know that you're concerned about him. Huh? What are you talking about? My wife immediately denied it. I was puzzled to understand what she meant. I'm not worried about your father. Attending the hospital takes a certain amount of time and effort. I'm just making sure you have time to do your chores. Can you prepare dinner? Clean the house? I'm asking you if you're doing everything properly, you know? My wife was that kind of person. I'm so dumbfounded that I'm speechless. I sighed and hurried through the housework as usual. My wife's selfishness is an everyday occurrence. She has always lived as she pleased. She would complain about me working late, but she never leaves a single message when she's working late. When I send her a message asking her why she's not home, she's like, I'm working overtime. Moreover, she never tells me in advance what she's going to do on her day off. She's always making plans on the spur of the moment. We're going out today as a family. It's not uncommon for her to suddenly say stuff like that. If I tell her I have something to do, she asks me to cancel it as if it's that simple. It's just absurd. Especially in the last few years, she seems to be working overtime more and more, and often misses dinner with us. And yet, she never contacts me, nor does she respond when I ask. So I have no choice but to prepare dinner for her every time. Only when I think she's working overtime and don't prepare dinner, she comes home on time and complains. She was a real pain in the ass. To be honest, I don't want to spend my old age alone with her. I found myself thinking about it. Then, on another Monday, I drove to the hospital with my father. We were supposed to go home after having the usual tests and hearing the results of the diagnosis as usual, but then something unexpected happened. What? The doctor in front of me looked worried. My father next to me is silently staring at the doctor. Is it cancer? Yes. The results from the endoscopy show signs of cancer. Since a detailed examination is necessary, we'll have to ask you to stay in the hospital. Oh no! I didn't know what to say. I don't even remember what the doctor said after that. When I got home, my father said he wanted to be alone for a while and went to his room. When I saw the door to his room close, I went into my bedroom and shed tears. My wife came home late that night. I told her about my father. She listened in silence. I'm going to be busy with it, so it might be difficult for me to do stuff around the house, you know. My wife didn't like what I said, but she didn't say anything. I wonder if she indeed understands. That's what I thought at the time, but I soon learned that I was naive in that perception. On a holiday right after my father was admitted to the hospital for tests, my 2 daughters were out and away from home. As I was walking down the hallway with the vacuum cleaner, I heard a noise coming from my father's room. Could it be a thief? I thought so, and grabbed the hard pipe of the vacuum cleaner as a weapon. I fearfully looked into my father's room. I fell to the ground when I saw who it was. It was my wife. "What are you doing?" I asked my wife in a loud voice. "What am I doing? I'm throwing things away." "What? You don't need your father's stuff anymore." "How could you? My wife is taking it upon herself to throw away my father's personal belongings. Clothes packed in big bags, his favorite books tied up with string, even his photo albums are in the trash. What the hell? Stop it! Just stop it!" I tried to stop her in a panic. "But your father has cancer, right? He's not going to survive, so we don't need these." My wife had just said the most ridiculous thing. "What? We don't know for sure yet. Don't you dare assume he's dying." "But he's lost a lot of weight lately. I'm pretty sure it's cancer. I will have his room when he's gone, you know." "You already have your own room." "Shut up. I can do whatever I want." My anger reached its peak with my wife's terrible words. She's a selfish woman by nature, but I thought her relationship with my father wasn't so bad. I was even grateful to her for allowing me to live with my father. But this is just too wrong. Too much to take in. "I was against moving in with him in the first place. You've been neglecting the housework." "But you're the one who suggested having him move in with us." "Well, I'm not getting anything in return for it." "What did you say?" "Your dad's a cheapskate. I thought he'd give me an allowance or something." "What? Did you expect such a thing?" I was speechless for a moment. I've put up with my wife's arrogance my whole life, but this statement was so cruel. I screamed, feeling my eyes turn red with anger. "I'm going to divorce you. Get out of my house right now." My wife, overcome by my fury, ran out of the house silently. After a few days, I calmed down. However, I can't stand to be married to such a horrible person any longer. At any rate, I wanted to prepare the documents for divorce. I'm not sure what the necessary procedures are. I went to a cafe alone for the first time in a while to think about the future. On my way home, I witnessed an unexpected scene. Half a month after I kicked her out, I got a call from my wife. She wanted to talk, so I let her in the house. She seemed to be in a good mood and looked the same as before. "So, what is it you want to talk about?" "I've been thinking about it, and isn't it weird that I got kicked out of the house? You should be the one to leave." "Why is that?" "Because I'm the breadwinner in the family. I'm the one who's been making your living, so why should I leave?" "What is this person talking about? Has this person already forgotten? This house is in my father's name." "My father bought this house, so it's only natural that you have to leave." I didn't think she had forgotten. I laughed at my wife's stupidity. "Yes, this house belongs to my father. He bought it for us when we proposed moving in together. Before that, we lived in a tiny apartment. My father paid all the expenses for the new house, and I felt bad for making him do that. But my wife was secretly thinking to have some allowance for my father. How could she be so stupid as to forget who owns this house? How can she think that it is her house? This house will belong to me and my children when my father dies." "Shut up! Whatever. And it will be a joint property between you and me. Am I right?" "What do you mean?" "You said you were divorcing me. If we get divorced, we'll split the property. Then half of this house is mine." "I'm sorry, but you're wrong. An inheritance from one's parents can't be jointly owned by a couple. Too bad." "What? Really?" "Well, there are exceptions, depending on the circumstances, but this house is still my father's." "I mean, your father will be gone soon, and this house will be yours." "Please don't decide on your own that someone's father will be gone soon. Before my father is gone, you and I will be divorced." "Then I won't agree to the divorce." What an idiot she is. Do you think I'm going to say I'm not getting a divorce? And let me say this one more time. My father is still alive. "He has cancer. He doesn't have that long." When my wife shouted that, someone came in. "Too bad. I have a long life ahead of me, son." My father appeared and said with a smile on his face. His legs were weak, but he appeared strangely energetic and high-spirited. "What? Why are you here?" My wife was in a panic. I guess she didn't think my father would be home when he was supposed to be in the hospital. "Of course I'm here. This is my house. And the tests are done, you know." "What do you mean?" I quietly told my wife, who looked at me in panic. "My father didn't have cancer." "Huh?" The results of the thorough examination revealed a benign tumor that was easily removed. He's still weak in his legs, but otherwise, he's in excellent health. What does that mean? It means I'm going to live a long time. My father took over and said with a big smile on his face, "Well, you made a mess in my room, Patricia. It was hard to clean up, but well, after the divorce, your room will be open. I can use it as storage room, and I'll have more room. Thank you for leaving." I didn't know my dad could say such a thing. His miraculous recovery from his suspected cancer has given him a new lease on life. He seems 10 years younger. My wife, who had been in a state of shock for a while, came back to reality and gave a forced smile. "I'm glad you're doing well. Then, why don't you change the name of the house to your daughter as a gift while you're still healthy?" "No way. That's none of your business. By the way, you've been cheating on my son, haven't you?" "What? Why do you say that?" "And don't even try to cover it up or give excuses. If you don't make much money, you can't say that." In front of my wife's flustered eyes, I held out several photographs and documents. "Can you explain this, honey? You said you've been in a business hotel for the past half-month since you left home, but you were actually at the house of your secret boyfriend. See, here's the proof." I tracked them down using the private detective. Pictures showed my wife and the man she was having an affair with making out. Yes, I had gone to a cafe that day and happened to see my wife. She was with another man, holding hands and making out in public. "I thought it was strange that your salary didn't change even though you were working overtime. You've been visiting your lover for a long time." "No, overtime was real." "You don't have to lie. I even checked with the company. They told me there has been no overtime for the past year." "Oh no." "You've been working a lot of overtime. That means the affair started at least a year ago, right?" "That's..." "So you and I are getting a divorce. I'm going to charge you alimony and child support. Be ready." "No, please, don't do this." "Now, get the hell out." My wife ran out of the house, hunched over at the sight of my furiousness. I don't need to tell you what happened to her after that. I charged her and the man she cheated on me with alimony, plus child support from my wife. I need to make sure she pays for the children's future. She moved in with the man she was having an affair with. They were left penniless after paying the money. They moved into a small, old apartment and are forced to live in poverty. Their relationship seemed fine at first, but the relationship didn't last more than a month. How do I know? Because my ex-wife called me. "Listen, he doesn't do any chores at all. He gets up at random times in the morning and at night, goes to bed, and he never takes care of me. We always have to eat delivery or TV dinners. He doesn't clean the house, so there's dust everywhere. He doesn't take out the garbage, so there's no place to step in the house." The man with whom she was having an affair seemed to have been pretending to get her attention, but now that they're living together, he's revealed his true colors. He's not even working. He's just hanging out at home. "I can't take it anymore. Please help me." "What? Why should I help you? You're finally with someone you wanted to be with, even if you had to fake working overtime. I can't ruin that kind of happiness for you. Well, good luck with that. You made a fool of us, and you'll pay for it." "I'm sorry. From now on, I'll help you around the house. I won't act like a jerk to you, and I'll take good care of your father." "It's too late. There's nothing you can do now."
"Oh no! Wait! Please!"
"Goodbye, Patricia." I hung up. Listening to a stupid woman's stupid story makes my ears itch. Then, apparently my ex-wife left her life with her lover and ran away. The relationship was only good while it was a secret affair. I heard that my ex-wife had to quit her job because the truth had spread throughout the company, and people around began looking at her like she was a total jerk. She deserved it. Now that she's gone, my family is at peace. My daughters are enjoying life as usual. Their mother was hardly ever home, and even when she was there, she was so selfish that they have no feelings for her at all. They even laugh and say they're glad she's gone. Well, they're adolescents, so the idea of their mother cheating was nothing but disgusting to them. They say they'll never invite her to their weddings. Speaking of my dad, he's feeling much better now. He's been having a lot of fun at the Senior Citizens Club. He seems to be getting to know the ladies in the club. I'm still struggling with work and housework, but there are no more obstacles in my way. Life is beautiful now. I'd like to start preparing for a happy retirement.